A tough loss for the Philadelphia Eagles, but is there a silver lining? We'll talk about all that and more coming up next.
The following announcement has been paid for by
the ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, guys.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Sports.
Can you feel it? Can you feel that excitement?
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Chris Wild here live from Lincoln Finance.
And I'm telling you, if you let Eli Manning walk into that stadium,
music.
Wow.
Man, again, and I hate to do this again, but these are goose.
Whoa!
And more.
what's his next book gonna be called? Spineless?
Mike.
What a difference a week can make. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, live from bar 4133. And last week, we were feeling probably the best that we felt about this football team in a very long time as they absolutely trounced the Atlanta Falcons 32-6. This week, a different feeling. Not exactly a bad feeling coming from me, but just a feeling of I just don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to feel as the Philadelphia Eagles lose 17-11 to the San Francisco 49ers in their home opener. Now, look, let's get this out of the way. Hats off to the San Francisco 49ers. They're a very good football team. I believe they're a playoff team. Really, the weakest part of their team is their quarterback. Other than that, these guys are solid. They're a solid team. They're a well-coached team by a veteran coach. I did not think that the Eagles were going to come in here and wipe the floor with the 49ers. I did think it was going to be a close game that the Eagles could win, and that's exactly what it was, and that is why this is so frustrating. To me, as an Eagles fan, I'm going to tell you this, and even if I wasn't an Eagles fan, I think I would say the same thing, but the Eagles should have won that football game. That was a very winnable football game where there were a lot of points left on the field for the Philadelphia Eagles, whether that was a blocked field goal, whether that was Jalen Reagor stepping out of bounds during a touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts, whether that was an underthrown ball from Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith that would have been a touchdown in the end zone, or of course, that Philly special fourth down play that should have never been called to begin with. They should have never been in fourth down situations, and we'll get to that in a second. This was a very winnable game, and the defense for the Eagles played very well. So let's get to this silver linings, because last year during that horrible season, I did a couple what I called silver linings videos, which was like after a loss, what could you take out of it that was good? Now, as the season went on, it was very hard because there was very, very little good in some of those losses. But in this one, let's go right to the big guy. Let's talk about Jordan Mailata. This is a guy that got paid last week before the Atlanta Falcons game. He's the left tackle of the future. And man, he went up against an absolute beast in Joey Bosa and absolutely stopped Bosa from doing just about anything in that football game. As a matter of fact, Jordan Mailata was the highest graded offensive lineman in all of football this week. That says a lot about a guy that had no idea how to play the game in 2018, coming from Australia and rugby. I mean, this guy is doing great, and also kudos to Jeff Stoutland for making him that way and coaching him that way. Look, when you talk about this offense, there were so many things that I thought were wrong. I thought the play calling was bad. You know, the 49ers, the weakest part of their defense, and they've got a very good defense, was their secondary. Their secondary was banged up, and the Eagles didn't exploit that at all. I think Devontae Smith, from looking at some of the All-22 tape, was getting free, and Jalen Hurts just wasn't looking his way at times. There was a little bit of miscommunication there. Obviously, the underthrown touchdown was an issue, but they just did not exploit that secondary. They didn't target the middle of the field at all. They've got two great tight ends in Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, were barely utilized in the game, and the running game was suspect as well, even though the Eagles right now I think are first in rushing or second in rushing in the league. There's just so much left on the field. Let's get to this play. Jalen Hurts to Quez Watkins. Look, here at Bar 4133, we were going absolutely apeshit when this happened. Deep ball. First off, Jalen Hurts can throw a deep ball. Now, look, I don't know how his endurance is, if that maybe his arm strength is affected as the game goes on, but you just saw a dime to Reagor, who stepped out of bounds, should have been a touchdown. And then this awesome pass to Quez Watkins, 91 yards. Look, when you throw a 91-yard pass, First off, Quez, can you get away from these guys? You don't have much longer to go. But you now have 4 plays to go till you get into the end zone for the touchdown. This is as sure a thing as a sure thing can be. You hurry up, you get up to the line, you do a quarterback sneak. The defense is already reeling. They're tired from chasing this guy. Quarterback sneak. 3 times in a row I would have done with Jalen Hurts. Or get a big back in there like Jordan Howard that you have on the practice squad and try to run it in there with him. The play calling was just atrocious down there. Obviously, Sirianni did not have a great game. Rookie head coach, that's going to happen. Same thing with Hurts. He's not going to have great games every game, especially against really good defenses. But this was just insane. And then, look, Nick panders to Philly fans. I like it sometimes, kind of just like Bryce Harper, but the pandering with the Philly special. Look, if that game, look, as I stutter all over the place, if that play would have worked, we would have been saying Sirianni is a genius. The Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl now because look, if they score that touchdown, the game is changed. If they score the regular touchdown, the game is changed. And I think the Eagles win by maybe 10 points at that point. But it doesn't happen. And the 49ers defense knew exactly what the Eagles were going to do. When you bring Greg Ward onto the field, after he hadn't been on the field basically all game, and you set up like that, they were not having any of it. So yeah, again, just with all these points, if the 49ers would have came in and handed the Eagles their ass, that would be one thing. But I'm bringing up all these things that should have been points. I mean, the blocked field goal, like there was just so much that was still left out there. The Eagles should have won the game. But the 49ers were the better team. And look, their fans came in, did what they did to the Rocky statue, and this team just kind of let them do that, which is something we got to chew on for a little while. That being said, guys, there's another unit that I thought was a silver lining here, and for the past 2 weeks, and it's only been 2 weeks, but look, last year the Eagles had one of the worst linebacking cores in football. I mean, it was atrocious. Besides Alex Singleton, everyone else was just not very good. For the past 2 weeks, this unit has been not perfect, but they have held their own against one of the best tight ends in the league in George Kittle. Last year, he absolutely murdered us. This year, they held him in check. First week, Kyle Pitts, who is the number 6 pick in the draft, an up-and-coming, one-of-a-kind tight end, we're told, who had a great game against Tampa Bay's defense, by the way, this week. The Eagles took him out of the game. So got to give credit where credit is due to Eric Wilson, Alex Singleton, TJ Edwards, and the rest of that linebacking crew. I think they've done a great job. That is a silver lining because we know last year it was just it was diarrhea on the football field. With that being said, guys, we got the Cowboys coming up. It is Cowboys week. I've been so busy here. And I'll tell you what, the Cowboys, I'm not going to get too much into this because I'm going to do a video later about the Cowboys, but they're not a bad team. Dallas will always suck in this household, in my heart, and on this bar. But as far as the past 2 weeks of Dallas Cowboy football, they're definitely not a bad team, I don't think. And it is going to be very tough to walk into Dallas and get a W. But hey, again, this is National Football League, and you just never know. And I'll speak to you guys a little bit later this week, as we only have a couple days left of the week, actually, about how the Eagles can actually go in there and win this game. There's 2 people, and it's the same 2 people for every game that you're going to have to rely on, and that's Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Once they get this thing going, and look, again, if they have a game like they did where they leave points on the field in Dallas, the Eagles are going to get run over. The Dallas Cowboys have a great offense. You can't leave points on the field. But, again, I'm getting too much into that, guys. Look, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, go Birds, and I'll see you later.
Nation to stand.